Hey, how's it going guys? It is Olivier and today I'll share with you my stock portfolio update for the month of February 2024. As always, I'll share with you what have been the different transactions that I've made throughout the last month of January and at the beginning of February. And you will also discover in this video what are the different companies and individual stocks in which I am personally invest right now. But first, before you see what my stock portfolio looks like and why have I made all the transactions that I've made throughout the last month, well, you need to understand that at the end of 2023, I have purchased my first triplex, meaning that I'll need to put a lot of liquidity upfront on it. And so as you'll discover, I'll need more liquidity for the next couple of months, meaning obviously that I won't be able to invest as much as I did in the past. So let's start by seeing what are the different technology companies that I have in my stock portfolio. First, you can see that I have 4 of the big GAFAM in my stock portfolio with companies like Apple, Meta, Google, and Amazon representing important stake of it, notably with a company like Meta that has gained a lot of value lately that now represent over 15% of my total assets. You can also find that I have a few Tesla shares in my portfolio that, however, have been on a downtrend lately. I do also have a few shares of Rumble that, however, on its side has been in a great positive momentum lately. And the last technology company that I have is the Shopify business that has been massively increasing in value over the last couple of weeks. In terms of the energy companies, however, they haven't been able to perform quite well, notably with Enbridge that recently came out with some poor earnings report. Nevertheless, you can still see that my stake in Pembina has been able to return an impressive total return of about 66% over the last couple of years. And obviously, all of the total return that you see over here doesn't include the massive dividends that these companies are giving me. In terms of the financial companies that I have in my portfolio, you can see that the big Canadian banks, which are TD, RBC, Nova Scotia, and BMO, haven't been performing that well lately. But on the upper hand, the insurance company Manulife has been doing tremendously well and it has returned over 50% of return over the last 3 years. However, when it comes to the telecommunication companies that I have in my portfolio, which are Bell and TELUS, well, you can find that both of them haven't been able to perform well during the last couple of years. Most importantly, Bell lately that has lost a lot of value following their more recent earnings report. But on the upper hand, my consummation company Couche-Tard has been doing fantastic throughout the last 3 years, where it has gained over 117% of value. On its side, my materials company Savaria hasn't been doing that great over the last couple of years, where it has returned over 20% of total return. But on the upper hand, my important stake that it represents about 10% of my overall portfolio in the real estate investment trust Raucan has been doing pretty well with some total return of about 40%. And this is obviously without including all the great monthly dividend income that this company is giving me. And finally, my super small stake in the 5 and Plus company hasn't been doing great with some return of about less 7%. So you can see that over the last couple of years, my stock portfolio has returned over 43% of return, which represent about $31,000 of unrealized gain. Obviously, this doesn't include all the total return that I've made by selling different companies and all the dividend income that I've also made during that time. Nevertheless, only my stock portfolio currently represents over $102,000, which isn't including all the different ETFs and funds that I have in it. In terms of the sectoral distribution of my portfolio, you can find that the largest sector by far is the technology sector that represents slightly less than half of the total assets of it. After, you can find the financial sector, followed by what is the real estate sector with my Raucan company. And after, we can find the energy sector, the communication sector, the consummation sector, as well as my material sector with my company Savaria. And finally, you can find that my super small stake in 5 and Plus only represents about 0.42% of the total assets of my stock portfolio. And finally, for the last month, in terms of the transactions that I've made, you can see that I've mainly sold different technology companies, where I've notably sold a few shares of Google as well as a few shares of Meta to take some profit to be able to have more liquidity for my real estate. Because right now, the big project with my real estate property is to be able to remake the roof, which will cost obviously quite a lot of money. But if you currently have a little bit of liquidity aside and that you're looking for the most undervalued companies to buy right now, well, check out the video that's gonna be right over here and I will see you soon. Peace.